Hey, what's good, magical family? It's Unique Divination, and you are here on Urban Mystic TV. I am here with the full moon in Scorpio, April 2018 psychic reading. As always, we have our tarot deck, which is a Thoth deck, and we've got a goddess guidance card, and we've got a past life card to give us some guidance to how we need to receive this full moon energy. Now, as far as the full moon in Scorpio, Scorpio represents desire, passion, regeneration, renewal, and decay. So there's going to be a lot of shedding of old things for new things to come into place. And if you've been working on certain projects and personal and spiritual development, you're going to start to see the changes that you've been implementing in coming in around the time of this full moon. And so the first card that we get into is the Four Disc, which represents power. This card, if you've been working diligently on a project at work, or whether you're trying to be an entrepreneur and start a business, and have been grinding for a long time, things are going to start to get some stability, get some growth, and you're going to start to see the benefits of what you've been doing. So it feels like things are not going your way, but if you want to step back and look at the bigger picture, you're actually organizing, you're structuring your future, whether you really feel like it or not. So continue with the hard work, continue to grind, continue to finalize things, pay attention to detail, and really go through whatever you're working on, whatever the project is. Like I said, entrepreneurship, starting a business, a project at work, planning a vacation, whatever it is, go through it with a fine-tooth comb. And for people that don't have patience, I'm one of those people that have been learning patience for the past few years. That takes a lot to actually step back and evaluate things little by little. So you're going to have to go through your stuff, fine-tooth comb, find inconsistencies and ways that you can improve whatever it is that you're working on. And this also represents having that discipline, and this is where the success comes from, because now you're learning discipline, you're learning patience, you're learning organization, structure. And so the Four Disc is represented by Capricorn, and Capricorn is hardworking, motivating, organization, structure. So you will need all of this, or continue to do all of this, to gain the power and the momentum that you need to continue on with whatever it is that you're trying to do. Now, if we want to look at this from a shadow perspective, make sure not to be afraid of losing, afraid of not being good enough, don't be afraid of competition. Don't be intimidated by other people's success. Focus on your own success. And like I said, continue to work on the things that we discussed about that is associated with the Four Disc. And things will fall into place, but you cannot let fear, jealousy, envy, or competition get in the way of what you are trying to accomplish overall. The next card that we're working with is the Queen of Cups. And as far as full moon in Scorpio is concerned, Queen of Cups needs to make sure that we are being mature when it comes to our emotions and how we're interacting with people, what we expect of people, and what other people expect of us. We need to focus on maturity with our emotions, throwing fits at people, snapping out at people for no apparent reason, just being rude and mean to people. If this is how you've been feeling, then you kind of need to check this. Queen of Cups deals with the maturity, so to speak, and how you deal with your emotions. Also, let's make sure that we are not being influenced by other people's emotions and what other people got going on. Sometimes empaths, I'm an empath, and I know a lot of you that are listening are empaths as well, but we tend to pick up on other people's emotions and energy, and it becomes our own, whether it's good or bad. So let's make sure that we're not allowing other people's emotions and energies to influence us and become our own emotions and energies, even if that's not how we're really feeling. If you're in a really good mood, don't let somebody else's negative mood or attitude come in and destroy your mood or attitude. Stay away from people. If it's people in your own house, then you need to let them know that you need your space, and they need to kind of do their own thing if they're going to be in a negative, kind of funky kind of mood. The energy that you've been giving off so far has been active energy, fire energy, ambitious energy, and you don't need anybody with a negative aspect, negative energy coming in and kind of throwing a damper on what we've got going on as far as the Four of Disc is concerned. Power, remember, power. We've got a lot of things going on. We're finalizing things. We're starting to finally reap the benefits of what we've been achieving in the first quarter of 2018. And we do not need to let any energy vampires get in the way of what it is that we're trying to do. Also, now is a time to kind of get your imagination going. Listen to some music. If you've been putting off music lately, or really haven't had the drive to be imaginative, let's listen to some new music. Let's go visit an art museum. Let's gonna do something that's gonna spark that creation spark within us. And so let's make sure that we cater to our imagination and our creativity. The last tarot card that we will be discussing in this reading is the Sun card. And pertaining to the four discs, where we have power, structure, organization, actually seeing the success of what we've been working on, then we've got the Queen of Cups that deals with the maturity, emotional maturity, making sure we're not letting other people influence our emotions and behaviors. We have the Sun, which kind of stands for vitality, being optimistic. Let's make sure to not have any negative thoughts in what we're doing. For every negative thought, let's kind of counteract that with two positive thoughts. And understand that darkness and emptiness that we were feeling is coming to an end. It's definitely coming to an end. And this actually kind of coincides with the weather. Spring is here. We just went through the spring equinox. And so winter, which represents death, sleep, hibernating, so to speak, and spring deals with rebirth, which coincides with Scorpio, which is renewal and shedding of what is decaying. So this is actually a good representation, literally, of what's going on right now with the weather and the spring equinox and also what could possibly be going on in our personal lives. So I know a lot of people suffer from depression in the wintertime, especially around the holidays. So we're just trying to bounce back from these dark times, and we move into the spring. Days will be longer. The sun is going to be out more. So your spirit overall is going to be uplifted just because of the change in the weather. Okay? The sun also deals with ego. And so we've got the Queen of Cups here, which deals with emotion. We need cups to balance out with the sun because, if we have all sun, then that will create a desert. So we need water, which is emotion, to keep us grounded in the path that we're going. So remain optimistic, but let's not let our ego get in the way of what we're doing. Continue to remain humble and appreciative for everything you're doing, especially if you're an entrepreneur. And say if you're somebody who just constantly achieving things, promotions at work, everything's just really good, going great for you. Of course, give yourself all the accolades, but let's not forget that our ancestors, our spirit guides, were able to help and assist us in our journey and everything that we're doing. All right, so that wraps up for the tarot deck, and then we're going to move into the goddess guidance cards. And so we have the goddess Maat, who will be guiding us for the full moon, and she represents fairness. And Maat is the Egyptian goddess of integrity, fairness, and justice, who holds a scale that measures souls against a feather at the time of death to detect any heaviness from guilt. Maat protects us in business and personal relationships, ensuring that we're treated fairly and honorably. Call upon her before signing any contracts, during a dispute, or whenever you feel guilty or remorseful. And Maat tells us that the situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. All right, let me suggest another definition for fairness. It's when all parties involved surrender their personal agendas in favor of the greater good for the entirety of the group. This requires trust in the wisdom of the whole. When it comes to matters of disputes, the attacks are based on fears that you may not receive your share. Yet attacks amplify the hurt and the pain that caused the dispute in the first place. Why not surrender your attachment to a specific outcome and instead direct your holy will toward the resolution of the argument? Hold a firm vision of a peaceful outcome and let the pieces fall into place in a harmonious manner. A lawsuit will be resolved. A dispute will end harmoniously. You'll be treated fairly. Keep everyone's needs in mind during negotiation. Release guilt and shame as these emotions can attract a punishing attack. And so the goddess is just telling us to move with fairness in everything that we do. And sometimes when you move through fairness, you have to put aside your personal gain in the matter, and you've got to look at the totality of the circumstances. As far as relationships are concerned, this is very difficult to do because in a relationship, sometimes we like to compete, and sometimes we have to feel like we're right and the other person is wrong, and we have to show them what they did wrong. Sometimes it's okay to just agree to disagree. Or like I said, put your personal feelings and gains to the side and look at what the other person's perspective and try to negotiate and come to a middle ground. And this is as far as relationships is concerned. This is as far as business is concerned. Interactions, communications with people is concerned. Let's try to move with being fair. Especially if you're a supervisor or some type of boss if you have employees under you, you can't treat everybody the same, but you can treat everyone fair. And so we need to remember that. And so the goddess Maat leaves us with being fair. And so our last card that we're going to look into is a past life card. And this is just basically looking into a past life that may potentially be affecting us or will affect us during this full moon. Maybe it's something that we need to remember from a past life that'll help us succeed in our current life. Okay? And so we've pulled the farm card. And so basically, in this past life, you were on a farm, and it's influencing the situation that you're going through right now. You probably enjoyed a simple, happy life, and you probably crave that simplicity once more. This resonates with me, being a business owner, being a student. I'm in school for my master's degree currently, being a mother, being a wife. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed. I feel like it's very challenging, and also running a coven. I become overwhelmed, and I just want things to be simple. I just want everything to... sometimes I feel like I want to be a minimalist and just do as little as possible, and things need to be simple, and everything that I do, that's not always the case. So this is something myself that I struggle with personally, and feeling like I crave simplicity. Okay, you may have enjoyed the warmth of an extended family during your farm life. Your angels may also be nudging you to become self-sustaining by growing your own food as you did in a prior life. You most likely carried forward your green thumb ability to grow plants as well. Also, this card may be asking you to reconnect with animals and nature, which were a part of your past lifetime on a farm. If you've had a past life accident involving farm equipment, this may carry forward to an unexplained injury in this life. You've also had relationships in that life that you're playing out in this one. Your body will tell you which situation fits, so notice any goosebumps, chills, or other physical reactions as this is being read to you. So definitely, this also applies to me. I just recently planted some tomatoes. I'm going to grow some potted tomatoes in my own home. I have a green thumb myself. I like to grow things. I currently live in an apartment now. I'm trying to get a mortgage loan, so I can't wait until I actually have my own home where I can start a garden. So this really speaks to me as well, because deep down in my soul, I'm always thinking about being able to start my own garden, right? I also love animals as well. I have a dog. So for any of you listeners out there that love animals, you don't really have an animal, I recommend trying to get one. If you can adopt one from like a SPCA or something, I don't recommend going to like a puppy mill, because sometimes their animals are sick. But definitely, if you can, try to get an animal. If you're a cat lover, get a cat. If you're a dog lover, get a dog. There are other hamsters, something. But bring that animal element into your space, and it will definitely help with calming, grounding. I know whenever I feel down, I just snuggle with my little Yorkie, and he makes me feel better. So this concludes a full moon in Scorpio, April 2018 psychic reading. I hope that you guys receive this message well. Thank you for listening as always. Please don't forget to like the video, and if you have not subscribed, of course, what are you waiting for? All right, so until the next full moon, I will talk to you guys later.